the legal tender.
Right.
But it's still counterfeit. It does not comply with the U.S. Constitution. Isn't that right?
That's correct.
And Ron Paul, he's made a big issue out of why the dollar's losing value. I'd like to go to that clip.
You're also in the Air Force as well?
Right. I spent 5 years in the Air Force as a flight surgeon.
Okay, so two noble professions, armed forces, doctor. How'd you get into the sleazy one, the politics? Now, what made you leave being a doctor and then, or did you ever leave?
I got fascinated with studying economics, and I figured we were on the wrong course about 30 years ago.
Okay.
I've been fascinated with Austrian economics, which is free market economics. It also involves hard money. That is, you shouldn't be allowed to print money out of thin air. You know, we have a problem with that.
Right.
We think money should be backed by something.
Right, exactly. Okay. But you're certainly in the top 3. I believe you're number 3 in money raising.
That's right.
What do you attribute that to?
The views are very popular.
Yeah.
We defend the Constitution and very limited government.
You don't mint these. You buy these from Bernard.
It's Bernard, not Van Haas.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah, Bernard von not Van Haas.
Not Van Haas.
Yeah, it's
He
Bernard
mints these,
von not.
and he's been minting these for a decade or more, haven't he?
Since 1998. 1998. But he did mint them in Hawaii, and there was a Hawaii numismatic. And then he decided in 1998 that he was going to make the Liberty Dollar.
But he doesn't call it a coin, does he?
No.
All right, watch this and we'll be back in just a minute.
That is price fixing. At the end of your testimony, you suggested that we should address this housing crisis and we should have rules that would address deceptive lending practices. And I just think that is not the answer at all. The real deception is when we distort the value of money. When we create money out of thin air, we have no savings, and yet there's so-called capital, there's money available, but it comes from what you have to do, and the pressure is put on you. So I think we have to get back to the very fundamentals of where this problem comes from. And the bubbles occur when we have this malinvestment and the creation of new money. So my question boils down to this: how in the world can we expect to solve the problems of inflation, that is, the increase in the supply of money, with more inflation?
Congressman, first, just a small technical point on the growth in money. Money growth has been pretty moderate over the last few years. The increase in MZM is probably related to the financial turmoil. People have been taking their savings out of risky assets, putting them into the bank, and that makes the money data show faster growth. So I'm not sure that's indicative of policy necessarily. What we're trying to do is follow the mandate that Congress gave us, and the mandate that Congress gave us is to look at employment and inflation as measured by domestic price growth. And as I talked about today, and I think you would agree that we do see risks to inflation, and we are taking those into account, and we want to make sure that prices remain as stable as possible in the United States.
But how can you do this and pursue this, the policy you have, without further weakening the dollar? There's a dollar crisis out there, and people's money is being stolen. People who have saved, they're being robbed. I mean, if you have a devaluation of the dollar at 10%, people have been robbed of 10%. But how can you pursue this policy without addressing the subject that somebody's losing their wealth because of a weaker dollar, and it's going to lead to higher interest rates and a weaker economy?
If somebody has their wealth in dollars and they're going to buy consumer goods in dollars, and it's a typical American, then the decline in the dollar, the only effect it has on their buying power is it makes imported goods more expensive.
Yeah, but not if you're retired and elderly and you have CDs and their cost of living is going up no matter what your CPI says. Their cost of living is going up and they're hurting, and that's why people in this country are very upset.
Well, we have a certain level of anxiety up here, Mr. Chairman, because there are votes pending shortly in both houses.
Overseas, wasted money. This is a continuation of a revolution. It is a peaceful revolution. It's up to you to spread this message around this country. This is an American cause. It's a cause of freedom. There's something going on in this country, and it's big. spread the message. Thank you.
So that was Dr. and Congressman Ron Paul from Texas running for president. You wouldn't know it unless you watched this show, because the major media, what I call the government propaganda channels, Fox, CNN, ABC, CBS, what I call the big C snooze media, because they keep you snoozing so you don't know what's going on. They don't let you know Ron Paul is still actively seeking the presidency. Is that true where you live too over there in New York?
Well, we have a good contingent of people that know that he's still running.
But I mean, on TV.
Oh, absolutely.
You
won't hear anything about Ron Paul.
They block him out, don't they?
That's right.
Even though he's got delegates, he's going to the convention,
Right.
he's running all the way to September. So in 2005, you got this issue coming up, and eventually leads to what, a misdemeanor conviction on one charge against your son for something to do with a passport?
2 charges initially.
Initially.
Yeah,
But
the 2 charges is harassment. Okay.
he's harassing them?
He's harassing them, and I was an accomplice to it. And the other one was impersonating a federal agent, all right, of which I was an accomplice with him. The passport is a later issue.
Do you, Shane, do you have anything that looks like an FBI badge?